Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel, and we talk about it in a positive way. If that, my friends, is something that appeals to you, you know you've come to the right place. We're so happy to have you here today. Today is Saturday on this channel, and today we're going to be talking about 5 anthology horror movies you could watch this Halloween that you may not have heard of before. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so first off, I want to start off this video by saying if you hear a little bit of rain outside or thunderstorms outside, we are getting some heavy rain in my area, and it is much needed. Not to mention, it also coincides with our topic for today, because one thing that I love to do during a storm is watch horror movies, and some of the movies that I enjoy the most are anthology horror movies. So going into a storm like this presents the perfect opportunity to watch some of these movies. And you don't have to do it in a storm. If you haven't seen any of these movies, they're excellent movies for you to watch this Halloween. So here are 5 horror anthology movies you could watch this Halloween. So let's go with number 1. Coming in at number 1 is Black Sabbath, a 1963 horror anthology film. The film consists of 3 separate tales that are introduced by none other than Boris Karloff. The order in which the stories are presented varies among the different versions in this movie. However, in the original Italian print, the first story is The Telephone, and it involves Rosie, who continuously receives threatening telephone calls by an unseen stalker. The second is The Wordalek, where a man returns to his family after claiming to have slain an undead creature that attacks those it had once loved. The third story is The Drop of Water. It is centered on Helen Corey, a nurse who steals a valuable ring from a corpse that is being prepared for burial, and then finds herself haunted by the ring's original owner after arriving home. If you have not seen this movie, it is a classic for an absolute reason, and you could do so much worse than to watch this movie. It is an absolute blast to watch, and I urge you to check it out if you've never seen it. If you can get your hands on the original Italian version and you don't mind the subtitles, or you speak fluent Italian, then do that. However, if you can't, any of the versions of this movie are okay to watch, and I'm sure you can find it streaming somewhere. Coming in at number 2 is Body Bags from 1993. And this is a horror comedy anthology television film featuring the unconnected stories, with bookending segments featuring John Carpenter as a deranged morgue attendee. With Larry Sulkus heading the bookended segments, the film first aired on August 8th of 1993. And the first story is called The Gas Station, and it features Robert Carradine as a gas station attendant. And that's all I'll tell you about that one. The second is Hair, and Hair follows Stacy Keach as he receives a botched hair transplant that infests him with an alien parasite. Then the last one is I, which stars none other than Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself, as a baseball player who loses an eye in a car accident and receives a transplant. This is a fun movie. This tried to be John Carpenter's answer to Tales from the Crypt, or his answer to Creepshow. More so his answer to Creepshow, I would imagine, but this movie is a lot of fun, and if you've never seen this movie, you owe it to yourself to check it out. It is an absolute blast of a movie, and it is so much fun to watch. Not to mention, there are several cameos throughout this movie, and each segment brings its own style and fun to the story. Coming in at number 3 is After Midnight, a 1989 American horror anthology film directed by Ken and Jim Wheat. It stars Mark McClure, Alan Rosenberg, and Pamela Siegel. And the main plot of this movie, the wraparound segment, is that Allison and Cheryl are two college students in a new class, the psychology of fear. It is being taught by a strange professor named Edward Derrick. Now, this is the whole thing. He invites them to his home for a private lesson, and Allison reluctantly attends with Cheryl. There he tells the students these tales centered on fear. And this is pretty good because the first tale is called An Old Dark House. And a couple, Joan and Kevin, are celebrating Kevin's birthday. And they suggest that they drive along an old highway and the tires blow out, leaving the couple stranded. So they have to seek refuge in this old dark house. The next one is called A Night on the Town. 4 underage women, Jennifer, Lisa, Amy, and Kelly, sneak into a downtown Los Angeles club but are kicked out. Afterwards, they get lost in a seedy industrial section of the town, realizing that they are out of gas. After stopping at a gas station, Jennifer and Lisa enter the gas station where they are confronted by an attendant and his band of dogs. The next story in this anthology is All Night Operator. Alex, an employee at a telephone messaging service, returns to work after breaking her leg during a ski trip. And during the night, she receives calls from a man who's kind of unhinged. And it progresses from there. It is a very good segment. This is perhaps my favorite segment in this movie. Now, this movie is a lot of fun. It is one you could do a lot worse than. If you've never seen this movie, definitely check it out. It's streaming right now, probably on Tubi. That's where it's been recently, so check it out if you haven't seen it. Coming in at number 4 is Cat's Eye, also known as Stephen King's Cat's Eye, and it is a 1985 American anthology horror film directed by Louis Teague and written by Stephen King. It tells 3 different stories. Quitters Inc., about a company that helps you to quit smoking through very drastic measures. And the second story is The Ledge. And The Ledge tells the story of a man who is forced to walk along a ledge, and if he succeeds in getting around, he's free to go. It's pretty much one of those tales that Stephen King is famous for that sort of is a bit of revenge and a bit of sadistic fun. It's a pretty good little segment, and the final segment is called General. And General is sort of combining the wraparound segments with the rest of the film. General, in this case, happens to be a cat that kind of acts as your host throughout the movie. It's a fun little movie, and the last segment is a blast. So definitely check this movie out if you have never seen it. You could do so much worse than to watch it. Then last on our list is The ABCs of Death. And The ABCs of Death is a 2012 American comedy horror anthology film produced by international producers and directed by filmmakers from around the world. The film contains 26 short films, each by different directors spanning from 15 countries. It is an utterly insane little film where, as you might guess, each horror segment that they do is represented by a different letter of the alphabet. And it's pretty insane because they actually did a sequel to this movie, and they were going to do another sequel to the movie, but it didn't actually go through. So there was a spin-off, but that doesn't necessarily count. Watch this film if you've never seen it before. It is really fun to watch. It is one of my favorites to watch every year. It's something to just have on in the background. There are going to be segments where you don't like the segment at all. And if you like the rest of the segments in it, you're going to find where you have some rewatchability within this movie. So you'll have it on in the background and get up to make snacks when the segments you don't like come on. It's really fun and it moves pretty quick. So I urge you to check out all of these films that made it to our list today. All of these films you may not have heard of. And if you have heard of all of them, or any of them for that matter, let me know which ones you heard of in the comments below. And let me know what you thought of them. And if you think there's any that I've forgotten that deserve to be on this list, then I want those on my list as well. So make sure you leave those in the comments below. And if I've never seen them, I will definitely check them out. But I want to hear from each and every one of you. So make sure you're leaving me that comment in the comment box below. And make sure you're sharing this video with all of your friends so that they can be a part of this crazy conversation we're having. Then, if you like positive content, of course you're going to want to let the algorithm know that so that you can get more positive content. So make sure that you hit that like button to inform the algorithm that you want more positive content in your YouTube feed. And then if you're liking our content, of course, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button. And right next to it is the notification bell. You're going to want to hit that as well. So go ahead and do that so you don't miss a single video we do. Because friends, at the end of the day, I know it and you know it. Fandom is family.